Today, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Shlomi Ashkenazi. He is absolutely fascinating when it comes to AI, generative AI. You're going to learn a lot, and more importantly, you're going to learn tools that you can apply in your business today. Enjoy my conversation with Shlomi. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Business of Meeting podcast. Today, we're going to talk about generative AI. We're going to talk about risk and ethical consideration with AI. And more practically, you're going to see things that are absolutely going to blow your mind away. It's fascinating. If you're not watching on YouTube this podcast, you might want to listen to it later on. Because today, I'm so excited to have as a guest somebody who's been named the most influential meeting innovator in 22 by Congress Magazine, one of the 50 most influential event technology professional by Eventex in 2023. He is the CEO of BookingMaster and is involved with EventMagix and Emakin. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Shlomi Ashkenazi. Shlomi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Wow, Eric, after this presentation, I need to go home, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, you told me that all your family will be listening, so I thought that actually I didn't invent anything. I just read your LinkedIn profile.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shlomi, you have a fascinating career, and obviously you didn't start with AI and with generative AI. So what is your journey and how did you come to our industry?
Wow. I mean, I feel like that I start my journey today, but obviously my journey started 28 years ago as a junior sales in a travel wholesaler by mistake.
Okay.
And continued at that company at Natu for something like 11 years, and then went to my meeting high school. I was recruited into Kenneth Group as VP of Procurement.
Yeah, Ori has been a guest on the podcast as well.
I mean, it was a fascinating journey, and it was a great school for me. So rest in peace, Gideon Rivlin and Dan. They were mentors all the way. I was VP of Procurement, VP of Operations, corporate operations, and ended up as a dance partner in a company that was called Connect. In some point in Kenneth, I ended up of understanding that I don't want to deal with exhibition and the chairs and sessions anymore, and I want to deal with engagement. And Dan was generous enough to open the door and allow my craziness the freedom, and we created the first Congress app back in 2006, a native application with a full Q&A capabilities, voting, e-posters. So God bless, he gave me the freedom, and as you know me, I like to dream, and I took it away. And 2015, I left Kenneth Group and joined EventMagix. And the last 9 years were fascinating. I mean, we did great things like the World Energy Congress and other stuff that practically took it away. And then the pandemic came. I thought that I'm going to start selling masks because we didn't have anything else to do. But in 3 months, talented team of EventMagix created Virtual Magics, and we had something like 500 virtual events in 2 years.
Wow.
With up to 15K delegates, and became to be the core vendor of Checkpoint. It was a great journey, and I'm blessed to have a very talented team in EventMagix that made our dreams happen. And then 2020 came, 22. And the AI came to my life that blew my mind in a way. Because since then, I'm practically envisioning new stuff within AI and seeing and trying to see how to simplify it to my team and the way that we work in the event industry.
That's awesome. You know, everything you just say right now, there's already two major points that I like. And I think I just want to emphasize that for especially the business owners in our industry. The first thing you said is about how you switch. And I hate the word pivot. I hate it because I heard it so many times. But actually, You saw the challenge, you decide, and you try to find other solutions with your own resources and develop something else. And that's really something that anybody would like to, should be remembering, because this is going to happen to you in your entrepreneurial life. And the second thing, and you almost start with that, you say, I feel like my life is starting today. And I just love this mentality of always learning and not thinking, yeah, I know, oh, I've done this, oh, I've heard that before, because there's always something you can learn, even if it's something that you believe you've seen before, which obviously is not the case right now. So we're talking about AI, we're talking about generative AI. I heard this term all the time. What is exactly generative AI?
I mean, generative AI practically came to our lives. AI in total is something that started back in the last century, but it came into our lives to a retail world in 2022 when OpenAI came out with the ChatGPT LLM model, large language module. They've been able to text and ask a question, and it was able to answer you, and it blew our mind that the world is changing. But since then, practically everything is changing, and there are many modules that are added. But I assume that during this podcast, we are going to be able to explore together how to simplify this to our industry, because in my short career, I saw that event industry is late adapters, and we tend to adapt new technologies, and we are a bit of afraid of changes. And cheese mover, let's put it like that. And wherever I go, this is the challenge. And I assume that generative AI is a big game changer that will make our lives much easier and simpler.
And how would you define generative AI?
Generative AI is practically your assistant. Imagine someone that is practically coming to work together with you every morning, assisting you in any very basic task that you're doing. Writing an email, preparing a proposal, thinking about a business module, and you're frustrated from the last meeting that you had, so you can come to generative AI, and there is a module that I use that is called pi.ai, that is my psychology. I mean, they are practically, after he learned me, he's giving me very good advices, even with my relation with my partner, with my wife, what is the right way to approach and how to negotiate and what would be the right thing to do. So AI is going to be anything that you would like it to be. And how do you assist and do everything that you're doing day to day?
That's fascinating. So you're telling me, and I hope she's not listening, that when you have something to discuss with your wife or you have an argument with your wife, you basically asking pi.ai to tell you how to talk to your wife.
I mean, it gives me the right advices after it learns. I mean, obviously, when you spend with AI, with machine learning enough time, the machine learns who are you, how do you act, what do you like, what you don't like, what is your personal approach, and what are the people around you, and practically generates the right ideas how you should practically act. So I highly recommend that you go to pi.ai. You're going to find there your best friend.
Wow. So what if your AI is talking with your wife's AI? What's happening?
Fortunately, by me, my wife doesn't deal with AI. She deals with the kids that are on the spectrum. And she's dealing with kids, and she's very humanitarian on the way that she deals. So lucky by me, she doesn't deal with AI. I'm the only one that is the geek at home.
Got it. Now we've heard about prompt and basically order that you can or a request that you can do with your AI tool. What about the prompt for generative AI, especially when it comes to having the expected outcome, and you know the outcome you want to achieve? How do you turn that? How do you ask the machine, the AI tool, to basically deliver on what you're expecting?
A great question. I mean, with this LLM and prompts and etc., there are new things that
LLM,
are
sorry
coming.
to interrupt you, is language learning machine, right?
LLM is large language module.
Okay, nothing to do with what I say. Large, okay. I'm
Okay.
glad I asked. So what is LLM? Before we get into that, just let's
LLM
be
is
precise with
practically,
definition to understand.
I mean, if we look at LLMs, LLM is large language module. This is the very basic AI tools that came into the retail. It's practically your ChatGPT
Okay.
or Claude or PI, the modules that you text and practically based on the text prompt gives you a reply.
Okay.
There are 3 to 4 LLM modules that I can recommend you to use. Obviously, the king is ChatGPT. The second that I use every morning that I come to office is Perplexity. I don't Google anymore. Perplexity is practically an AI tool. If when you ask something ChatGPT, you do not know the resources that he's bringing you the answers from. But once you use Perplexity, it allows you to customize the answer that you want to get, meaning that he gives you the resources that he's bringing the answers from. He allows you to eliminate resources, and he combines the possibility besides the text answer that it's going to give you, it's going to give you the leading images or videos that follows your request.
Wow.
So not only that you're practically choosing who should answer you, meaning, oh, I want only university content, I want only ChatGPT-4, I want only Claude or other tools to be answered. It's not only that, it also gives you additional information. For example, if you look for the best guitar, it will show you all the 3 types of guitars. You want an acoustic, you want an electric guitar, you want a guitar for samba. It will tell you which shops you can buy. I mean, even if you don't ask, he gives you additional information. So I don't Google anymore. I mean, we are the generation of Google, right?
Yes.
When the internet came into world and Google started to give us answers on anything that we asked, we practically lived on the content that were someone promoted. But now with AI, you customize the answer that you're looking for, and you get exactly what you're looking for. So this is LLMs for me.
Got it. And before you continue, if any of our children are listening, please have respect for us because we went through college without Google. So amazing.
I mean, the learning is going to change as well, you know. My daughter is preparing her homework with Perplexity. I mean, when she gets a task, she practically goes and uploads it and gets out the picture, what she needs to prepare, and gives back everything that is related. She even comes with the right prompt of saying, I don't want to be heard like an AI tool. Make sure that your answer is human and humble. So she knows exactly how to put it, that the answer that she's going to gain is going to be exactly for a junior that is finishing the 11th grade.
Great.
That is going to be humble answer. So you don't imagine that the answer that you're going to get is AI generated.
It's amazing. So you said ChatGPT, Perplexity, and what are the 2 others?
PI and Claude. PI is practically your personal friend. Perplexity replaces for you the Google. ChatGPT is the god of everything, and we are going to discuss ChatGPT in just a second with other options as well. Obviously, there would be people in the audience that will ask, Google has Gemini. Why aren't you talking about Gemini? Those poor guys every day, they're coming with a new module, but after 2 hours, OpenAI makes sure that they're coming up with a better module, that their announcement is being forgotten. But there is also Gemini. I don't use it, but it's a great tool as well.
Awesome. I'm just thinking and listening to you, and my first thought was, wow, when I started my first business, there was not AI, there was not virtual assistant, There is no way of delegating as much as we could do today. And so coming back to our industry, the events industry, what are the different tools that you recommend that we could use or we should be thinking about using for event planning, for execution, but also anything related to marketing and operation? I guess what I'm trying to understand is what is the part that is still the human part or that a business owner should be focusing on, and what else can be delegated thanks to the new AI tools?
I mean, before that, with your permission, maybe we shall talk about how shall we talk with those tools.
Of course we can. And you remind me, Henry Kissinger was always saying, what kind of question do you have for my answers? So please go ahead.
I mean, come on. I can now suggest some tools, but if you don't know how to use them, it would be challenging for you to approach them. So I do apologize, right. But we are friends for so many years, Eric, so I do allow myself. I do apologize.
Of course, don't apologize. Go ahead, please.
Look, the first thing that you should know regarding AI is something very simple. And the word prompt came to our lives. Prompt is practically the way that you should talk to any AI tool. And when you talk about prompts, remember three main things. What, how, and who do you want the tool to be? How do you want your answer to be exported? And what do you want him to do? Each and every request that you're going to come, if it is an audio or it is a text message that you're going to send out to any AI tool, you need to tell him, I want you to act like an SEO consultant. I want you to act like an AI designer or a graphic designer. If you're now acting as a business consultant and you want to get from him a business plan, I want that to be in a table. That table needs to have 3 columns. Each column name needs to be A, B, C. I mean, like you explain your employee, what do you want to get out for the work that he's going to provide you or your colleague? This is the exact way you need to go ahead and discuss with an AI tool. And as much as detailed you can be, it's the best answer that you're going to gain from them. Obviously, it's going to be changing. If you want to create an image, you need to discuss and tell him the angle and there is a light or anything else that is stuff that are related to that. But prompt is the most important thing that you need to take under consideration. This is rule number 1. Mm-hmm. Rule number 2, if we talk about event professionals, ChatGPT has a very basic and important functionality, which before you start working with him, he comes and tells you, who are you? And how do you want me to respond back to you? If you go to the settings of ChatGPT, there is something that is called customize your ChatGPT. Based on your instructions of where are you based, what is your premium work, what are you interested in, and how do you would like that I will come back to you, what would be the level of response that you would like to get from me? Do you want from me a response of a professor, or do you want from me a response of an incentive travel agent? Once you tell him exactly what you want and customize your tool, obviously this is in ChatGPT, but Perplexity or Claude or other tools as well have also this customization option. So the first thing is the prompt. The second thing is the customization of the tool that you're using. Mm-hmm. And then you practically can do, as an event professional, you can create, let's go from the basics, okay? Within ChatGPT, there is GPTs, meaning that you can take ChatGPT and customize it according to your portfolio, meaning that you can upload, you can go to ChatGPT if you have the Pro license.
Yeah.
You can upload, create for yourself a GPT. Imagine that we are now creating a GPT for a PCO, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say that we have a mutual PCO that we are partners at. We went into ChatGPT, we created a GPT, and there we are uploading as Word file or as a PDF 4 or 5 itineraries or internal instructions of how to do procurement, or what would be the level of how our proposal of an RFP needs to go. Once we do that, Practically, when we come to that GPT, we will be able to tell him, I have an RFP that I need to prepare for a medical association for a 4-day congress. My services need to include contracting, meaning that I'm going to do procurement of the venue. I need to do procurement of 500 hotel rooms. I need to build for them the scientific program, meaning the abstract submission and the program. There needs to be 2 social events at the event. The system knows from the beginning that you need to have 10% from the total revenue and 5% from the sponsorship that you're going to collect. So it can draft for you already a proposal.
Amazing.
After you give them the basics, and you just need to tell him the name of the client, if it's a core PCO or a one-time job, and then you will have a full RFP that needed to take 3 to 4 weeks for you to prepare. In 5 minutes, you will have the full answer to the RFP to that association. You just need to read out and see that you don't have any challenges, and you can send it out.
That's amazing. How do you customize it? Because the aspect for me, which is always essential, is creating unique experiences that people cannot duplicate. So I get it. Those 3 weeks in 5 minutes, phenomenal. Then what? Before you send that RFP, where is the unique experience that you are creating?
I'll tell you. The first thing that you need to make sure and understand, any data that you share with any AI tool is used for machine learning, meaning that anything that you ask him, it's practically using it in order to practice his modules. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that you need to make sure that each and every module that you're using is not going to use the data that you're going to upload to that data to practice or machine learning. For that, there are 2 ways. First, if you're using the free versions, they're always going to use the data that you're going to upload for to practice their modules. Right. So my recommendation would be at least to one of the modules to use the paid version. ChatGPT costs $20, and if you want the team version is $25 per unit, and you need to have minimum 4 units. If you use the $20 version, when you go to ChatGPT 4, you can block it. I mean, there is a new function that was released last week that is temporary chats, meaning that they are not allowed to use this chat to practice their modules. So
I understand. So that will prevent the fact that, for instance, let's say that Shlomi is my competitor. I would not be able to ask ChatGPT, please write me the RFP for this client in the language or with the same data that Shlomi has been using.
You can say that. If that second PCO is using ChatGPT and he didn't block the temporary chat, ChatGPT will give you exactly the data that he practically used there.
So it's important to block the data.
So the first thing, if you're using one single module to do the temporary chat, if you're using the group, meaning a company module that costs $25 per unit and it is minimum 4 units, there you can block immediately that anything that is used is not going to be shared. I mean, to be honest with you, they say that they're not going to use it. I believe them, but there are things like kspace.ai that is AI for enterprises that there you know for sure that they're not going to use anything whatsoever. And the unique things that you can do is practically always your creativity. AI is your co-pilot. Yep. You're the boss. So you need to check and pull everything out and see how you're going to take it ahead.
Perfect. Okay, I get it. So let's go back very practically. Some tools, obviously we cannot cover everything, but it goes from, as a business owner, defining your vision, finding the customers, putting your sales process in place, writing a playbook, making sure you're delegating, you're building the right team, the right culture, having an execution plan, having accountability, all those things that I help businesses with. How can I use, or how can business owners use AI for executing on that? And I guess my question is there a tool for everything?
There is a tool for anything that you can envision or you don't envision even to do today with the AI. So even if you do not know what to do or which tool to use, there is a tool that is called, there is an AI-for-it.com that includes inside around 116,000 applications that are created by 6,000 companies since 2022.
Come again? How many applications?
16,000, 1/6. I mean, there is an AI for anything that you envision. Every day that I wake up, there is a new startup that is practically coming into life that is dealing with any tool that you can envision. As a business owner, the first thing is the LLMs, the large language modules that can help you to build business plans, that can help you to build marketing plans with your proposals, with sending itineraries. I mean, I don't write emails anymore. I have 4 to 5 prompts that I set down automatically, and any email that I want to send out goes out to those prompts. It makes sure that it is writing in Shlomi Ashkenazi style with Shlomi Ashkenazi jokes, and make sure that it is going out exactly that the way that I basically, I mean, I trained the module to write exactly like me, meaning only they don't write with my typing mistakes. Obviously, I have hundreds of typing mistakes, but now with the AI, it writes like me, but it eliminates the typing mistake.
That's awesome. And how did you do that? You upload hundreds of previous emails so that they can learn about your tone and how you're answering and writing?
It's much simpler than that. I mean, at the settings, you practically tell him who you are, what to do, how you practically want him to treat you. And if you go to pi.ai, it is much simpler even. He asks you exact questions for you to answer. Who are you and how do you do it? I mean, let the tool to guide you, and it will show you exactly how you practically tailored it made according to your needs.
Amazing.
I mean, first is marketing. AI today, I mean, there are 2 types. We started with the LLMs is a single model. Today we are in multimodality. What is multimodality? You didn't ask me what is multimodality, Eric.
How can I forget about that question? I'm sorry. What is multimodality, Shlomi?
Great. Thank you very much for asking, Eric. Next time that we are going to meet, lunch on me, man. Multimodality is practically if ChatGPT at the beginning in 3.5 acted only on text, today multimodality has audio, video, text, and also the option of translating everything and combining all tools, meaning that it goes both ways. You can take a picture at your smartphone from ChatGPT's application of Eiffel Tower, and you can ask at the audio, can you please tell me what is the picture that I have taken? And it will come and tell you, you have taken the picture of Eiffel Tower. It seems like that it's a daytime, the angle that you took at X, and then you can practically ask him everything that you want. At the same time, I mean, this is the deep fake that is coming into the world with this multimodality, because I can record your voice for 2 minutes. I can clone your voice and make you say anything that I want, Eric. You just envision what? I'll make you the king of the world, or I'll make you admit on anything that you want. Be careful.
Frightening. That's frightening. We're going to talk about that in closing, but before that, and yeah, we'll talk about the risk and the ethical consideration. But I know you prepared something, because when we were discussing, I said, okay, what if you wanted to make a PowerPoint presentation? And yes, again, if you're not listening to the podcast on YouTube, you might want to look at the episode specifically for this. What if you are creating a slide which is introducing this podcast, the episode of the Business of Meetings, where I interview Shlomi Ashkenazi, and instead of me, I want to have the voice of one of my favorite actor, Morgan Freeman.
So listen to this, because I prepared for you a small surprise. Don't tell anyone, okay?
Wow.
So sit back and enjoy, my friend.
Welcome to the Business of Meetings podcast, hosted by Eric Rosenberg. Today, we're thrilled to have Shlomi Ashkenazi, an expert in making generative AI simple and approachable for event professionals. With over 2 decades in technology and event planning, Shlomi will demystify AI, offering practical tips to enhance and streamline your events. Don't miss out on this episode full of actionable insights to elevate your event planning with AI. Join us as we explore the transformative potential of AI with Shlomi.
That's absolutely amazing. Wow.
Your wish is my command, my friend. You just need to ask.
Wow. I'm thinking of 500 ways already to use this presentation. That's great. It's exciting. It's fun. And you just alluded to it. And it's a podcast, so we cannot spend hours, unfortunately. But I would love to touch on the risk and the ethical consideration of AI, because I've been listening to Elon Musk, who is kind of putting the red flag on some of the things that are happening. What are the different risks, and how could you make sure that it's going to be used in an ethical way? Or already you mentioned it. You can have the voice of anyone and make them admit anything. How is this going to happen?
I mean, we need to be careful. We need to know what we are sharing and how, and we need to understand that any picture that we upload to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any recording that we are holding online over the web is an asset. And we need to make sure, according to the GDPR or the privacy policy, to make sure that we opt in or opt out from anywhere that we are at. We need to understand that the world is changing rapidly. And while we are talking about AI limitless, it needs to be very careful for each and every individual to know what he's sharing about himself and about his close family, and make sure that you allow or don't allow. And if you use a specific AI tool, make sure if you're practically using temporary chat, or making sure that tool that you're using grants you that he's not going to practically use your information with anyone else.
I get that part, but the first part on the family and the private thing, listen, it's 2024. If I want to find pictures of you or your family, of recording of your voice, of you're a great speaker, I can do that. I can find it. So it's too late already.
I don't believe that it is too late, because there are regularities that governments need to set.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, in 2018, when GDPR came into our life, we didn't understand why and how, and it was too strict. And today it's very clear to us what is opt-in, what is opt-out, what is the right to be forgotten, and what is the privacy of the individual. So the governments and the regulations, remind you that OpenAI is the one that is setting now to put borders in the way that we generate the content and how it needs to be. Because in our generation, since 2000, we were in the revolution of the internet. We were at the revolution of the smartphone. We were at the revolution of the metaverse. We are now at the AI generation. So technology is rapidly changing. So the only way to make sure is that governments and regulations will be set of all the data that they are collecting, because as you said, we don't have any control whatsoever anymore. It needs to be regulatory, that the governments will need to keep our data safe.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm also thinking, I don't know if you read that book from Ryan Holiday, Trust Me, I'm Lying, and everything he did when he was in advertising. And, you write something on a small blog, a local blog in a community in a small city, and it's taken by another blog. And the next thing you know, 5 days later, it's on mainstream media. And so when you create those fake with AI, my goodness, the time and energy that you could spend to basically debunk that fake.
I mean, I can blow your mind from the level of fake that is running around and stuff that we can do. I can even make Mona Lisa sing. You just decide what you want.
Okay,
She will rap if I want.
Okay, Mona Lisa and rap. Mona Lisa rapping.
You want a rap?
Okay.
Let's make a rap. Your wish is my command, my friend. You just need to ask.
So I'm sure I'm gonna see her moving her lips and singing in rap.
You're gonna see something amazing.
Yo, I'm a paparazzi. I don't play no Yahtzee. I go pop, 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 pop. My camera's up your crotch. See, I tell the truth from what I see and sell it to Perez Hilty. Don't call me scuzzy, making money. That's my job, celeb photography. What? Hell no, I'm not needy. I'm legit, not stalkerazzi.
Wow. Okay. So explain that to me.
I mean, this is released recently by Microsoft. You're seeing here something very, very fresh and new. It's not released even to the work of the public. It is called VASA. It allows you from a single photo, upload any audio that you want, and it allows you to move head, right, left, back, the movement of your anything that you want.
So I don't even know who was singing and what it was saying, because I'm not English native. So,
it is generated AI. I don't know who is singing as well. I just took it from
Really?
I mean, I'm not seeing my family too much. I'm stick on this AI for already 2 years almost. So any new paper or any new thing that is coming out, I'm jumping on it to see what's going on. So this is something brand new.
And I know that you agreed to put a link in the show notes so that anyone who would want to have the list of the tools that you're mentioning and more can get that. So thank you very much for that. Shlomi, I know, as I said before, we can speak for hours. So before we come to the end of this podcast today, is there one question that I was supposed to ask you that I haven't asked yet?
I mean, as a late adopters, my latest startup is BookingMaster. You know that each and every event organizer is losing money in any event that he's producing today.
Okay.
Because once you go and organize a conference or you organize an event that each and every individual has the liberty to book an accommodation, the event organizer in nature will always sign on the first circle, correct? The venue, the headquarters, and etc. But a guy like me over 45, although that I feel 18, if I go to Barcelona, I don't want to be near the CCIB. I want to be at the Ramblas because I want to go and make fun.
Or in Sitges.
So what BookingMaster is doing is practically a SaaS product. It's my latest startup led by AI as well. You just need to put your venue, name of the event, dates of the event, and the coordinates of the specific venue. We generate for you a widget or a URL that you can send out to your clients or embed in your website, and it will give you all the hotels in the radius of 10 kilometers from your venue. It will give you a map that will show you if you want to walk or you want to take a taxi or you want to take whatever. And the beautiful thing is a free of charge service to any event organizer, and BookingMaster shares profit. And all the availability that comes to BookingMaster is real-time availability, because as an event organizer, as a contractor, I know that when I sign a contract, a venue or a hotel would write from me 3 to 4 months cancellation policies, right? And a guy that like me that decides 2 days prior that he goes to a conference, like I did now to IMEC, I will come up with something that I want the cheapest, the closest, and the most convenient conditions. So BookingMaster provides everything, including free of charge service, and at the end of the day, only signs on the check. Do you like the idea?
That's amazing. You never stop coming up with ideas like that. I really love it. Shlomi, thank you so much for spending the time with me today and sharing a little bit of what is possible with AI and generative AI today. I'm looking forward to meeting you again in person very soon. Now, how would I know that I'm talking to you or I'm talking to an avatar?
I mean, you need to look at the new robots. It's amazing.
I'm sure. I've seen some things already. But what I like with you, and again, thank you very much, is that you can really put complex thing in a very understandable way, and also with a lot of humor, which I love. So, Shlomi, thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Shlomi, thank you so much for sharing all this insight with us today. Absolutely fascinating. And I love the fact that you're doing amazing things without losing your sense of humor. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to connect with me, please do so on LinkedIn, or you can go to the website eventbusinessformula.com, where a lot of tools are available for you. And if you enjoy this conversation or learn anything, please share it with your network. Thank you. Bye-bye.